Living things are different than the dead things. Living things can respire, they can respond, and they can communicate with their environment. Now let us see that how they are able to communicate with the environment in a highly specific manner and which particular organ or the structure which helps them to behave in a specific manner.
In Unit 5, the first point is membrane structure. So let us see about membrane structure. What is biological membrane? The membrane of any biological system is considered as a border or boundary of the cell which keep the required substances in and non-required substances out. It is called a thin enclosure that form closed boundary of the cell. Membranes are an absolute requirement for all living organisms. Every living cell must interact with the surroundings in a selective manner. The surroundings include external environment as well as the so-called internal environment of even a multicellular organism. The cell is not connected with the environment only for exchange of nutrients and wastes. It has to maintain its interior to a constant, highly organized state in the face of external changes. Plasma membrane is found in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. It is the main point of contact with the external environment of the cell. So membrane is responsible for establishing relationship of a living cell to its surrounding. It has several functions like it separates interior of the cell from the external environment. It surrounds the cell. It controls the flow of substances going inward and outward. The membrane is made up of double sheet of lipid molecules which is called phospholipid bilayer in which integral and peripheral proteins are embedded and used in communication and transport of chemicals and ions. It is the outer boundary of the first living cell nearly 4 billion years ago. Membrane participate in barrier functions, in transmembrane signaling, in forming a locus for metabolic reactions, in energy transduction, in cell compartmentalization, and also in intracellular recognition. Here we can see a beautiful figure of membrane in which we can observe several components. It starts with glycolipid, extracellular fluid, integral protein, peripheral protein, cholesterol, carbohydrates, glycoproteins, cytoskeleton, and also extracellular matrix. These all components together make up the structure of membrane. Prokaryotic membranes has more amount of protein and it is because a single cell organism lack organelles which are found in eukaryotes for various functions. Membrane lipids are structurally asymmetric and amphipathic. They have polar as well as non-polar ends. Membrane structure is made up of four components: phospholipid bilayer, transmembrane proteins, interior proteins, and cell surface markers, which take active part in signaling cell and in quantum sensing. Now, there are several methods by which membranes can be observed: by electron microscope, by using transmission electron microscope, or by different techniques of freeze fracturing. The proteins and membrane structure can be visible. Lipid bilayer is made up of two parts, proteins and lipids. Okay, most of the lipids are involved. They are phospholipids and some other are also there in the form of glycolipids and cholesterol. Phospholipid molecules spontaneously form bilayer in aqueous environment. So there is no external energy required to make up the structures. They are amphipathic in the nature and they have cylindrical structure. Lipid bilayer is made up of two parts, head and tail. The head is hydrophilic and tail is hydrophobic. That is why tails are found inside the structure, which are covered and protected by the heads. Tails are made up of two chains of fatty acids linked to glycerol. And heads are made up of a polar organic molecule which is linked by a phosphate group to the glycerol backbone. This figure shows the structure of bilayer chemically, and then gap filling model is there and fundamental unit of the entire structure, that is head and tail, are shown in the structure. So it has two chains, one is saturated, another is unsaturated. So that is why their shapes are little bit different. Orientation of bilayer is in such a way that it favors the formation of lipid bilayer. There was proposal of the model in 1930s for membrane structure, and it is called by the name sandwich model. Sandwich model was prepared from electron microscopy data, and even during 1950s and up to 70s, the sandwich model was being discussed among the scientists. Now, in sandwich model, they said that membrane bilayers are made with the help of proteins and lipids, and there are certain membrane proteins which are globular in nature. In 1972, there was another proposal of membrane structure, and that is called fluid mosaic model. This model said that some proteins are embedded in lipid bilayer that act as two-dimensional fluids. So fluidity was a new concept which was discussed in fluid mosaic model. Now we'll see about general characteristics of membrane. Membrane is held together by hydrophobic interactions. Most of the lipids and proteins can drift laterally. Molecules rarely flip transversely. Phospholipids move faster than proteins. Some proteins are connected to the cytoskeleton and they cannot move more. Unsaturated hydrocarbon tails on lipids increase fluidity, and The fluidity is controlled by cholesterol and change in temperature. Biological membranes act as two-dimensional fluid or liquid crystal according to the model of fluid mosaic model. This model was suggested by two well-known scientists S. J. Singer and G. L. Nicholson. The composition of the membrane varies with the location of the membrane. Membrane in mitochondria contains more proteins which is required for electron transport chain, whereas in nerve cells it contains more lipids which are required for electric insulation. Membrane is made up of 40% of phospholipids and 60% of the proteins. Here we can see the lateral movement of the phospholipid bilayer and flip-flop movement in the phospholipid bilayer. So lateral movement is commonly found in this particular layer. Mosaicism. They exhibit mosaic characteristic in two ways, that integral proteins are transmembrane proteins. They have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic parts, so they can move accordingly. Peripheral proteins are attached to the membrane surface by two ways, either by integral proteins or with the help of filaments of cytoskeleton. Fluid mosaic model also describes the fluidity of the membrane which allow the embedded proteins to move. Here in this figure we can see the movement of the phospholipids. Lateral movement is shown and flip-flop movement is also seen. In case of the second figure, membrane fluidity is shown. In the first figure, fluid movement is found and in another viscous movement is found. Then with the help of cholesterol, how membrane become a little rigid, so that is also seen in the figure. Then fluidity of the membrane, as we have said, that it depends on the type of the molecules and the temperature of the environment. Fluid mosaic model tells us about the balance in between fluidity and viscosity of the phospholipid bilayer. They have a very delicate balance in the structure of the membrane in such a way that it will not become too fluidy and it will not become too solid. So it allows the required movement of the proteins and carbohydrates whenever it is required. Fluid mosaic model control the fluidity of the membrane by three ways: by regulating the temperature, by changing the profile of fatty acid, and by adding the modifiers of the fluidity. As the membrane is permeable, it allows the entry of some ion and some compounds and not allow the entry of certain substances. That is called selective permeability. Selective permeability depends on two criteria. First is solubility characteristic of lipid bilayer and second is specific integral proteins present in the membrane. Non-polar molecules which are very small can cross very easily the membrane, and polar molecules, if they are small, they can move nicely, but if they are larger and uncharged, it is difficult for them to cross the membrane and for that they require certain transporter proteins. All the ions are also not able to get entry inside and outside the membrane. So, during the discussion, we have understood that the membrane of bacteria is fluid mosaic membrane. It is flexible enough and it is rigid enough. It is not so too much rigid and it is not too much of the fluid, but it allows the balance between two in such a way that the important compounds will not be leaked out of the membrane and the membrane will not be too rigid to transport the molecules or to carry out certain reactions. The membrane is made up of two different components, lipids and proteins. They bind together with the non-covalent interactions like hydrogen bonding and van der Waals interaction, and they make up a layer that is called bilayer. It is called bilayer because it is made up of double sheet of phospholipid layers. They also have certain peripheral proteins and integral proteins, also certain carbohydrates in their structure, and some of the cholesterol molecules are also there in their structure, and all these have their special function to carry out while they are found in the structure of the membrane. Membrane is involved in several functions like transportation of the substrates, communication with the environment by various processes, and also in the process of energy production.
I hope that you have understood the fundamentals of membrane found in living organisms, maybe prokaryotic or eukaryotic. In the next session, we will try to understand more about various models and characteristics of membranes in detail.